every single click you make, every show you stream, every post you like, it's all creating data. All of that data is what powers our modern world. But the people who build the systems to manage it all, they're some of the most important and, honestly, least understood people in tech. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these unsung heroes, the data engineers.
I mean, really think about it for a second. How does your streaming service dig through this massive library of content and your entire watch history in like the blink of an eye to suggest that one show you're probably gonna love? It feels like magic, right? But as you're about to see, it's something way more deliberate.
Yep, it's this essential, almost invisible infrastructure that makes everything from personalized ads to life-saving medical research even possible. Today, we are diving deep into the hidden world of data engineering, the very bedrock of our digital lives. So here's our game plan. We'll start by figuring out who these unsung heroes are, then understand why their job even exists. We'll explore what they actually build, see how they fit into the bigger picture, and finally, we'll look at why all of this is so critical for the future. Okay, let's start with the basics. You know, data scientists get a lot of the spotlight for finding these amazing insights in data. But here's the thing, they can't do any of their work without the data engineers, who are working tirelessly behind the scenes. So this definition really gets to the heart of it. Data engineering isn't about analyzing the data at the end of the line. No, it's about building the entire system, the pipes, the filters, the warehouses, that makes the data usable in the first place. Think of them as the architects of this massive data superhighway, making sure all that information flows smoothly, cleanly, and securely from where it's created to where it needs to go. Now, this whole field didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It was born from a very modern problem. We are absolutely drowning in data.
I mean, think about it. Just a few decades ago, data was pretty manageable. It was mostly numbers and text that fit nicely into spreadsheets. But then came the internet, smartphones, social media, and we unleashed this absolute torrent of messy, unstructured data. We're talking videos, images, clicks, comments, sensor readings from billions of devices. The old tools, the ones designed for neat little rows and columns, they just broke under the pressure.
We're now dealing with data on the scale of petabytes. And just to put that in perspective, a single petabyte is 1,000,000 gigabytes. That's the equivalent of watching movies 24/7 for over 25 years. That's the scale of the challenge that data engineers are tackling every single day, turning this overwhelming flood into a resource we can actually use.
So how in the world do they tame this flood? What does a data engineer actually do all day? Well, you can forget about the lab coat and spreadsheets. It's better to think of them as the master architects and the heavy-duty construction crews for the entire digital world. Okay, so their main creation is something called the data pipeline. Let's use your food delivery app as an example. When you place an order, the data engineer's pipeline extracts that raw data. Then it transforms it. Cleaning it up, maybe converting the time to a standard format, or flagging a weird address. Finally, it loads that clean, perfected order into the restaurant system so the chef knows exactly what to cook. They build thousands of these pipelines for literally everything.
But their job is way bigger than just building those pipelines. They're the master architects, designing the entire data blueprint for a company. They manage the huge cloud infrastructure that all this stuff runs on. They're also the guardians, making sure the data is secure and high quality. And they're performance tuners, constantly tweaking these incredibly complex systems to make them faster and more efficient.
To really understand their importance, it helps to see how they fit in with the other key players in the tech world.
This is maybe the best way to think about the difference. If data is the new oil, then data engineers are the ones who build the refineries, the pipelines, the supertankers to get that oil into a usable form. The data scientists, they're the ones who take that refined fuel and use it to power a race car and win the race. It's a critical partnership. One literally cannot succeed without the other.
So we've talked about the what and the how, but why is this so incredibly important? Well, it boils down to this. Without good data engineering, data is just noise. It's completely useless.
You see, effective data engineering is the engine that turns raw data into real business value. It lets companies make smarter decisions faster. It powers those personalized experiences we all expect now. It helps optimize everything from supply chains to marketing. And on the flip side, bad data engineering? Well, that leads to bad decisions, wasted money, and falling way behind the competition.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? In today's world, the quality of your data infrastructure isn't just some tech detail. It's at the very core of your business strategy.
And this field is definitely not standing still. The challenges are always changing, and data engineers are right at the forefront of what's coming next in technology.
I mean, the future is basically happening right now. We're moving from processing data overnight to a world of real-time everything, where insights have to be instant. With the rise of AI, these engineers are building the incredibly complex scaffolding needed to support machine learning at a massive scale. And as data privacy becomes more and more important, they're on the front lines, engineering systems that are secure and private by design.
So the next time your map app magically reroutes you around traffic, or your music service suggests a song that's just perfect, you'll know it's not magic. It's the work of these unsung heroes, building the hidden architecture of our digital lives. Which really leads to a big question. In a world that's being built on data, are these engineers the most important architects of our future?